Today we have a presentation by Ryan Grisby. He's with Website Takeout. So Ryan, if you could just introduce yourself to everybody here that's in the room, and just let them know what you're doing today, and then I'll implement it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Brian Grigsby. I'm with Website Takeout. We're a web design company that helps small businesses get their business online in a week with a custom website that adds value to your brand and turns browsers into buyers when they land on your website. We also do content development, content creation. So one part of being a business owner, not only getting a website, but also having content to market to people, especially in social media, as well as on Google, using Google Ads, remarketing, things of that nature. So yeah, content development, creation, and website development. And we'll be speaking today about how to build a pageless website, which is one of the easiest things to do for your business that can legitimize your business and turn browsers into buyers. Do you want me to go into it? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll just give you a second here, 5 minutes. And Linda, if you could just introduce yourself, please.
Good morning. I'm proud to co-host this with Charlie at the City of Harrisburg. Also, First National Bank is one of our sponsors. My name is Linda Grove, and I'm with the Small Business Development Center. I have one of my clients in the room. We offer free consulting on how to start your business, how to hire employees, how to sell to the government, anything that's a piece of owning a business. If I don't know the answer, I can find someone that does. So we're a resource that's free. We do have a lot of clients because we're free, but we always need more, and we run events like this. Now that you've attended one, you'll be getting more event lists. So we'd like to hear back from you. We have a feedback form. If you give us today, if you leave that before you go, if today was helpful or what you picked up out of it. And I'll also probably follow up with you with maybe Ryan's information, if he'll have a PowerPoint that maybe he'll share with us as a PDF.
Yep.
And I'll send you the Google one as well, because she'll usually follow up with the materials so that you can have that, for reference, since it might go fast today.
Today we're going to learn about how to build a pageless website that sells. This will help people who don't have a website, but will also help people who do have a website to design it or redesign it in a way that it moves your customers or your intended customers or your target market into taking a call to action when they land on your website. So many people have websites, but when someone lands there, they don't know what they need to do. They don't know if it's for them because of the imagery. They don't know what you offer sometimes. That's not clearly made known when they land on your website. So when we talk about a pageless website, this is a website that is just one page. It's very easy to do. It mimics the end user's experience on social media. If you think about being on Facebook or Instagram, you're just scrolling down with your thumb. You're not tabbing to go to separate pages. It's all one sheet of code. Not that you would have to code. You could do this with something else. But it's fairly easy to make. And this will show you how to do it or redesign your site in this way. So let's get into it. Our objectives today are to understand why you need at least a pageless website if you don't have one. And number 2 is to learn the 15 essential elements of a pageless website that sells. Pardon the, I'm kind of angry that my design is a little messed up here because I worked on that, but the next one's even worse. So I'm just going to give you a little leeway. Okay, so let's first start with why you need a website. The top 3 reasons why you need a website. The first one is credibility. All of this information is from a Deloitte Consulting small business digital assessment they did back in, I think it was 2016 or 2017. If you don't have a website, as she stated, people will go online and look for you, and you're not there. One of the biggest examples I can give, actually recently, so my wife and I, we moved to Maryland. This was just a week or 2 ago. And, we're looking for movers. And her mom, told her, she called her, she told her, she said, why don't you look on Craigslist? And I'm like, Craigslist is kind of sketchy, I've heard some things about people with Craigslist meeting up and things going the wrong way, but either way, she didn't listen to me. And she went on Craigslist and found a mover, and he gave her, oh my gosh, the quote was excellent. I think it was like $200, $300, whereas we were getting quotes from other people for like $800 to $1,000. So I said, the first thing I said, and not even because I'm a web design person, but just because, just in general, I'm like, well, do they have a website? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, how do we know if they're going to be someone that we can trust? So that's one of the big things about a website is being online, having a presence. People are expecting that now. They're expecting you to have a presence on the internet where they can come and find information out about you. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but it does need to be there to demonstrate higher value of your brand and give you credibility. The second thing is control. Sorry, the L is underneath, but a lot of people don't realize this. Social media networks own your social media account. You just rent them. Like, you don't own those. So I don't know if you saw in the news yesterday, there were a pretty big group of people that Facebook suspended, pretty much deleted from using their service. Farrakhan was one of those. Milo Yiannopoulos, I think his name was one of those. These are people who built pretty much their entire their entire platform off of social media. And I'm not saying they don't have a website, but imagine if they didn't have a website and they just use social media, which is good to get you out there. And then you come to yesterday and Facebook says, you know what, you're deactivated. I'm not saying that would happen to your business, but it's good to have something that you control and you own. And most importantly, you control the narrative of what you're telling your business out into the world, to people about you. So that's the second thing. The third thing is communication. 63% of consumers use a company website to find and engage with their business before making an individual purchase. I mean, that kind of speaks for itself. Most of the time, when I go out to eat with my wife, and we're in a new city, so like I said, we're in Maryland now. If we want to go out to eat tonight, which is date night, I'm going to go online and look for maybe an Italian restaurant. I'm going to go to their website. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to look at their pictures. I'm going to look at their menu. And then we're going to make a decision from there to, because if it's a website that's designed well, click on the action button, this open table that says reserve a table, and I'm going to reserve a table with them. If they don't have a website, that's most likely not going to happen. You know, you could take a chance and drive there, spend your time, and end up at a restaurant that you don't know anything about. So that's another reason why you want, you know, to have a website for communication reasons. Let's speak specifically about why you need a pageless website if you don't have a website right now. Pageless design is the best way to explain it is, you know, when you get on your phone and you're looking at a website that isn't pageless or responsive, you ever get on and you have to like stretch out to read different words. Pageless design is primed to be responsive for that specific reason. It's very user intuitive. It tells a story, as I have up here. And we're going to go through these steps. As you scroll down, you should be telling a story about your business, and we're going to go through those steps. It has higher conversion numbers. There's 30% more downloads on pageless websites than regular websites, where you would have to, by regular I mean, I have a home page, then I have an about page that someone has to click through and wait to load and go to. Then I have my services page, they have to click and go to that page, wait for it to load. That's all on one line, one page of code that people just have to thumb down to on a pageless website, which reduces the time the end user has to access information from you. It encourages sharing. As you can see in the middle graphic here, it's native on all devices. That's pretty much a visual representation of what I said earlier. And it's much more cost effective to make than a large scaled out website. So let's get into the second objective. And this is where the meat of today is going to be, and where you might want to take notes. So we're going to use our website as an example. When you first land on a website, the portion that you see, as you can see here, is called above the fold content. You see this little line right here? That's the fold. This is what people see when they land on your website before even thumbing down, scrolling down. This is the most important part of your website. There are a couple things that need to be here, and when I tell you those, you'll see why they're important. You need to have a top menu with the logo. Believe it or not, if you don't have a logo on your website, that actually is a D-ranking factor for Google as far as in searches, which is very important. And you'd have basic navigation, obviously, that will get people to different portions of your website. So to make it easier sometimes for people that they don't have to scroll down all the time with their thumb, with the top level menu up here. If someone wants to know my pricing or reviews, I just click this and it's going to scroll right down to it. It just makes that end user experience much easier to get to when I'm accessing information. Another thing you're going to want to have in the top of the fold area or above the fold area is a hero shot of your customer in their ideal after state. What I mean by ideal after state is how you envision them being after doing business with you. It's very important because we're such an image-driven society that people see themselves on your website when they land on it. So, you know, we deal with small businesses. So our main image, this could probably be fixed up here. This is kind of washed out. But our main image on our website when you land is a young lady who obviously is a designer. She's a small business owner. She's doing her work. This speaks to small businesses, our target customer. The next thing you're going to want to have is a headline which speaks to the ideal after state, and this is very important. When I first got up and told you about my company, Website Takeout, I spit directly back to you, and this is something you can tell everybody, like when Charles just asked us to stand up and talk about their business, my value statement of my business. Website Takeout is a small business that Website Takeout enables small business owners to get their business online in a week with a custom website that adds value to your brand and legitimizes your business. You need that right here to help people know what you do, specifically what you do for them, and that's your value statement for your business. The next thing, oh, go ahead, Charles.
So part of the value statement, right? You pull part of that then from your mission statement, right?
Yes.
So you've taken some of your content from your mission statement and just condensing it somewhat to make it reflective on your webpage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that is specifically to let the end user know very quickly that I see someone that looks like me, so they're speaking to me, and I see what they can do for me. Without even scrolling. We haven't even scrolled yet, and someone knows what they're going to get when they land on this website. The next thing is optional. If your headline doesn't speak to the ideal after state, you can put a sub-headline. So you could just basically draw that out further. I guess I could say here, we get your business online with the custom website in a week. We have different customer avatars. I mean, obviously, we just spoke about 5 different businesses in here. So you may have, different customers, different customer avatars that you could add information to this. So I could say a custom website in a week, as well as e-commerce development that helps you sell, because it speaks to someone who's selling products online. That's a little different than someone who has a, contracting company. So just speaking more directly with the subheadline to different target customers or customer avatars. And this is lastly the biggest thing, your primary call to action. For us is start for free. Click on that and you move into our sales process. I cannot tell you how many times we work with companies who have had websites before, and then we go to look at their website and there's no call to action. Typically a call to action that you would want to have above the fold on your website before you even scroll is something that allows you to have a point of contact with the end user when they leave from your website. So that would be an email address, their name, phone number. It depends on what your company wants to recontact that person after they've left from you. Interestingly enough, as we're talking about Google and Facebook and social media, another thing I don't have on here, but if you spoke about, what was your name again with the coffee shop? Joanne. You spoke about you're already on social media. Another thing you can add into now you can't see that here, but into the code of your website, the header, is something called a pixeling code. I'm not sure if you know about that? Okay, good. She does. You guys might not. A pixeling code is a code from Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, anybody you're doing social media marketing with, remarketing with, that you add into the top of your website so that when people come to your website, when they leave from it, you can retarget them specifically on those social media platforms. So another example I'll give from my family, when I was searching for rings to get married to my wife way back in 2015, I'm on Zales, I'm on Jared, stuff like that. And this is before I knew about remarketing. And then I'm like, all right, I'm done. These rings cost too much. I'm just gonna go on social media and, you know, just look at stuff. What do you know? As soon as I get my social media feed, there's an ad from Jared. There's an ad from Zales. That's the power of remarketing, and it's going to help keep down your social media marketing costs significantly because you're serving ads to people who have already shown a soft intent or lead to interacting with your products and services. So that I'll put that in the notes when we send the email to you guys. That's something else that you could add.
Is that when they visit your website?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So many people are baffled by that. They'll say that all the time on social media. They'll be like, I was just talking to someone about this or searching for something like this, and then the ad is right in my, how does that even happen? That's how that happens. That's exactly how that happens. Moving down, the next thing is going to be after you scroll. So this is from a company called Story Brand, which is a great company. They talk about treating your customers as the hero in your story and you as the guide. A lot of times when people build websites or do their business website, they talk about themselves. They don't talk about how they can guide the customer, who is the hero in the story, with a plan to an end result that they desire. So when we move further down on your website, we're going to start talking about that plan. We've established that you're here, you're someone who is a small business. We've established that we can build a website for you. Now we're going to tell you that we have a plan for you with the products and services we offer. And usually those are three big things, as you see here. We build a website for you. Return site browsers into buyers. So that means they're not just coming to your website and not, leaving with some type of call to action in mind or spending money or giving you an email. And we maintain your website on a daily basis. So as a guide in this story, we're positioning ourselves to move the hero towards their end result, which is wanting a fully developed website. And we explain that here with the plan. Further down, you're going to fully explain the plan in key features, process breakdown, and differentiators. The big differentiators is I usually go further down with my clients when I deal with them on differentiators, and what I mean by that is things that differentiate you from the competitor. A coffee shop that's maybe 2 blocks away, or another application development company. I would probably put that down further. The biggest thing I put in this area right underneath is going to be the features. And if you have a certain process, maybe there's some type of application process that you do that's unique. Now you don't want to give it all away, but you just touch on that a little bit. We're going to do that here as you scroll down further. So for us, that is accessible on mobile. It's built by a professional designer. You're not dealing with somebody who just, your cousin who just said, yeah, I'll do it for you with Wix. It'll help you grow your business, as we have copywriters that we work with. And it's well maintained. We don't just build your website and just leave you to run it on your own. We maintain it on a monthly basis. After that scroll, a little further down, so I've established as a customer, I've came to your website, I've noticed this for me. I see you could do this for me. I see your benefits for me. I see the features that are kind of cool. Are you even relevant? Are you even someone that I can trust? That's going to be the next step after that. We're going to show them, well, we didn't do it, we put our process next. But down here, you would have your customer reviews, what people are saying about your business. You could pull reviews from Google. You could pull reviews from your Facebook page and just repurpose them on here. These are actual reviews from our Facebook page that people gave us that we put on here, just to establish authority and let people know that you are someone that can be trusted with their business as far as building their website goes. You could also do case studies. For customers who have a little bit, they want to talk about the process of, when you talk about contracting, that's like a couple months of, work. That's not something maybe you could put in just a testimonial, a quick testimonial. That may be something where you want to show a case study where you solved a specific problem for this specific person and how you did it over time and how they benefited. So that's another thing you can put. And then scrolling further down, after the scroll, this is kind of getting towards the end of your Pageless website. We're going to give them another primary offer box and call to action. So we don't ever want to lose them. We did ours up here. I switched it a little bit. You don't ever want them to have to, fish around and try to find, that call to action that you introduced them to at the top of the website. You see it's here, start for free. You see it's, you can't see it's here, that needs to be fixed. You can see it there. There's a call to action button in the top level menu. And then as we get further down, as we've established trust with them, there's another start for free button. Just making it easier for the user to take a call to action, give you the information that you would like to move them into the sales process. Some optional things you can do are scarcity or reminder messages. So someone who maybe has an event that's coming up and there's like 30 days left, you could have a ticker, that says counting down, 29 days left to my wife's event coming up. It's Kickstart. That is just to kind of push people to, buy now, You can also do miscellaneous info. This will be another thing for someone who does contracting or, who is WEBEC certified. All those certification things, that type of information add to your credibility and show you as a reputable company. And then the last thing you're going to want to put in the footer is your logo again. You could do frequently asked questions as well, which could help your customer service people. You could do about information and a contact button, as well as your logo, any social media stuff, copyright. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there any questions that anybody has? Yes, sir.
Can you explain that remarketing?
Yes.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, remarketing I think is the best thing out there. So basically you just take every single social media giant now, gives you a pixel code or a tracking code. That's a better name for it, tracking code. That you can take from their website. You just copy it, and then you go to the header file of your website, depending on what system you're using. If it's Wix or Squarespace, I'm not sure if they do it, but WordPress, Drupal. You paste that code into the header, and then when people come to your site, you're basically going to be following them through the internet and be able to retarget them with ads wherever they're at. So like right now, I've met you here. Imagine like when I leave from here, if I don't have your email or contact information, I can't ever contact you again about website takeout. If let's say your website goes down and you need it again. But with the targeting, the tracking remarketing tool, you can do that in the social media sphere. And the biggest thing, it keeps down your marketing spend, because I could talk about social media marketing. I'm not going to get into it. When you're throwing ads out there, when you start out with social media, you're just going to be throwing out to a blanket group of people who haven't shown any intent to work with your business or maybe even interested in it. But with this, you can push the ad directly to them, so you're not spending money on someone that hasn't even dealt with you.
So you're basically, because we're not doing anything with social media ads, so certainly we would arrange advertising with whatever social media platforms, but then that ad now would just play to the people that came to our site. Got it.
Exactly, and you can even dig deeper. They have codes that you can use, tracking codes for. So if you're an e-commerce person, that you can take specifically for just a shopping cart. So you may have people who come to your shopping cart and abandon it, don't end up buying. You can remarket to those people. It's very specific. It's awesome. I love it. It's the best thing ever made. You're welcome.
It's important to be on social media.
I believe so, definitely. When you think about social media, I think a lot of people, and this was me too, you think about young people and they're just on Facebook and they're on Instagram taking their pictures and stuff, but I mean, all of us are on social media. And even if it's not Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, LinkedIn is getting huge. And I could go out and guess here, all of us probably have a LinkedIn profile. And that's an older generation of people, and those, more importantly, are people with that disposable income.
We have the budget, right?
Yeah, you have the budget. So
Wait, so how many here check Facebook every day? Only me and Joanna, okay, and right.
yeah,
How about LinkedIn every day? I'm on LinkedIn almost all day, every day.
yeah,
And then what about Instagram? Just me and Joanna, okay.
yeah.
And I think it's important, right, because you want to use all the free services that are available. So,
Yes.
you know, when you're setting up or marketing your business, anything that is free, you need to be all over.
Yeah.
And take the same content once you develop it, and then just move that within your LinkedIn, within your Facebook, if you have MySpace, whatever those are, just keep the content the same. And then you can, it's easier to adjust. I think there are some programs that are out there that will combine all of those social networks together.
Like
And then,
Hootsuite.
yes,
Yeah.
and then it changes all of your content at once. So,
The problem is, if you call me and you're a trucking company, the first thing I'm gonna do, if I've never heard of you before, is check for you on LinkedIn and check your company webpage to see if you are who you're telling me you are. And that makes you more reputable. So you want all those things to track perfectly. So does your LinkedIn background show that you work for the company? Does your webpage list that you're one of the contacts? We're all getting spammed all the time. So at the very least, just to establish who you are, it's a reputation thing at this point.
it's all about consistency. So the more you're consistent, the more people will trust you, and it's easier to obtain and then get business that way. It's just consistent. The people that are getting business, they're consistent. They're showing up every day. They're taking the complaints, they're taking the calls, the suggestions, and just dealing with it. And they're continuing to show up on a consistent basis. And that's why people trust them and utilize their services.